Welcome to the AIAMC podcast. I'm Kimberly Pierce Burke, Executive Director, and we have a dream team of power women joining us today from JPS Health Network. You might have remembered earlier in the year, I interviewed Dr. Tricia Elliott and Dr. Diana Singer from JPS the JPS is the winner of the 2026 AIAMC Innovation Award. They were awarded a beautiful crystal memento with Dr. Chandlee, who's with us as well today, when we were meeting in Carlsbad in April. And they won that award for what they call SHINE, Students in Healthcare for Individual Empowerment. So we thought it'd be really fun today to check back in and have with us, we have two students that are in the program that actually were in it last year during its inaugural year and are back this year as fellows. So we're going to learn a little bit more about the program today from Drs. Elliott, Chandlee, and Singer, and hear from our students as well. Very quickly, I'll share with you that Dr. Tricia Elliott is the Senior VP of Medical and Research Affairs, the Chief Academic Officer, the designated institutional official. Dr. Virginia Chandlee is the Manager of Clinical Experience, and Dr. Diana Singer is the Executive Director of Academic Affairs and serves on the AIAMC Board of Directors. And we are joined by our shining stars today, Debra-Jul Akanmu and Jonaire Boktour. Debra-Jul is a rising college freshman, will be in college this fall, and Jonaire will be a senior in high school this fall. So ladies, welcome. We're delighted to have you here with us. And Dr. Elliott, Tricia, I will start with you. For those who couldn't join us the last time we chatted, can you tell us briefly just what about SHINE? And if you've listened to my podcast, you know I always like to start with the why. Like, why was this important to do? And, was there a problem or an issue that you were looking to solve?
Hi, Kimberly. It's great to see you again. Thank you for this opportunity and actually to have our Shine fellows and our grads here to tell you all about it. That's exciting to me just to see them here. So they're incredible. So yes, let's tell you about Shine. So Shine is Students in Healthcare for Individual Empowerment, our Shine program here, and it's evolved definitely over time, but it started with a why. And the why is that how do we inspire others to see themselves in healthcare and to start that vision much earlier? So really thinking about the pipeline starting earlier. What does that look like? So many of us, when we're asked when we're growing up, to say, what do you want to be when you grow up? I remember saying it myself, like, I don't know, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a dentist, or whatever it is. But you don't really know what that looks like, and you don't really understand what that means. And so we need a future workforce that sees themselves and understands what they're getting into, can explore all the careers in healthcare, make those decisions. It may evolve, it may change. But we here at JPS really wanted to have a program that was where they were part of the JPS team, where it was a summer program for them to come, not only have that exploration, but to gain certification, something that they can use as they move ahead, but also to be inspired to continue their journey in healthcare. And we wanted it to be a paid internship that they could come and spend the time with us. And we wanted it to also be something that they saw value in and that they could tell others that this was a valuable experience. And so with that, we've been able to grow this and evolve this. I have awesome partners there, as you see, with Dr. Singer and Dr. Chandlee, and this incredible team they'll tell you about that help us to do this. And we've done it by starting last year, of course, with our Shine cohort of 30. This year, we now have not only the Shine interns, a new group that's come in, but we now have these amazing Shine fellows that were part of our first cohort, but now they're Shine fellows, and they'll tell you all about their experience. And we also started Shine U, which was our undergraduate program, to bring some for about 4-week experience for those that are maybe a little further along, but they also want to understand what healthcare means for them in their future journeys. So that's a little bit about Shine. It's a vision that we've had, and it's definitely something we want to continue to help our local students experience.
Well, it's just so impressive. And I remember when we chatted before, and I've learned more about the program, I'm so enthralled that a lot of our members across the country do a great job with medical school pipeline and coming into residency. But these are all
Yes.
health professions and certification at the end. And I think what a wealth of, I mean, just even as a high school student, knowing what the opportunities might be. When you were saying when people ask what I wanted to be, what you wanted to be when you grew up, I'm probably showing my age here a little bit, being 60 something, but honestly, when I was growing up, the only women professionals I saw were teachers or nurses. So to be 16, 17, 18 years old and just see this wealth of opportunity that's out there is just so amazing. Kudos to all of you. And Virginia, I know in your experience of managing the clinical experience for many learners, you've literally seen thousands of students over the years. What makes Shine different from the other student programs that you've been a part of?
Yes. So what I think is unique about this program is that it's 8 weeks, summer internship that's paid. The students or the interns actually achieve a national certification as a patient care technician, or what we call a PCT. But aside from that, they get real hands-on clinical time. It's incorporated in every day. So even if they've been exposed to the PCT role before, we actually have them in the hospital on the units with our nurses, with our techs, with our team leads. And so that hands-on experience is truly valuable. In addition, we do a noon lecture series where executives and leaders from all across our network come and talk to the interns about their journey from high school, what they wanted to be when they grew up, where their path led them to their current role here. And that opportunity allows the interns to see that it's not just doctors and nurses at JPS, but that we have many healthcare roles, from finance to IT to pharmacy to the supply chain to community health. And all those roles work integrally together to make a healthcare system. And finally, because it's a paid internship, they are our employees. And so for some of them, this is the first paid role they've ever had. And so we're also teaching them professionalism, to arrive on time, to arrive in your uniform, to have your badge with you. And then some of the soft skills, communication, those types of things, compassion. And they're learning that slowly over the 8 weeks. So we do concentrate it in 8 weeks, but because they're with us for a period of time, sometimes longer than some of our student groups would be, because we see a lot of students, but they come for one day, or they come for 2 weeks, but only for one shift. These interns are with us every day, Monday through Thursday, as employees. And I think that makes this program unique.
Wow, that's just it's just incredible. I'm thinking back to, when I was in high school and if something like this were available, boy, I sure would have jumped on it. So let's get to our two lovely ladies who did take advantage of this wonderful opportunity. And I want to switch that around a little bit. Who were chosen to take advantage of this opportunity? I don't remember the numbers we talked about last time we chatted, but I remember there were far, 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 far many more applications than those who were selected. So what an honor to have Debra-Jul and Jonaire with us today. And so let's get to the stars of the show and let's ask them about this SHINE program. Debra-Jul, I'll start with you. How would you describe your experience last summer as a SHINE intern?
Thank you. I would describe my experience last summer as very eye-opening. So prior to the SHINE program, I'd never actually been in a healthcare environment. I always knew, yes, I wanted to be in healthcare, I wanted to be a doctor, but not being in that environment, I wasn't sure. So the SHINE program acted as a bridge for that. So it was my first time being in a healthcare environment, like Dr. Chandlee said, having hands-on interaction with patients and really learning all the different avenues of healthcare. Because I would say before, I was very small-minded. I just thought they were doctors, nurses, and that was it. But I learned that there's so much more to that in healthcare. So very, very eye-opening.
That's wonderful. And was there a moment for you last summer that when something just sort of clicked for you and you realized, boy, I kind of think healthcare is really where I belong and something I want to pursue? Was there a moment that came together for you? And if so, can you tell us about it?
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to be honest. There wasn't really one specific moment. where I thought that, oh, this is it. But I would say it was more of the consistency of what I experienced throughout the internship. So every day I saw healthcare professionals making a real impact in the lives of patients, whether that was with a big procedure or maybe something even small, that's something that may seem small but is very important to the patient. Just seeing that consistent impact really affirmed to me that this is exactly where I'm meant to be.
Oh, and I love that. So and you're so right. Those of us, and like even on the periphery of healthcare, I mean, I'm not a healthcare provider, but I work with wonderful people like all of you. And just being a part of something bigger than yourself and knowing that you're impacting patient care and the patient's families is just so important and something I think that really keeps us all going. So, Jonaire, I'll turn to you. You came
Yeah.
back, as did Debra-Jul. Both of you came back this summer as
Yes.
Shine Fellows. So you're the experienced ones now. You're the ones who knows what's going on now. You're the fellows. What does it mean to you to come back for a second summer? And what has that experience been like for you this second summer around?
Yeah, great question. So this experience has truly been so meaningful. I had never seen healthcare in a more management way. So last year we had a lot of clinical experience. So we were directly with patients. But this year we get to really focus on growing ourselves personally as leaders. And not only are we like cultivating core values, but we're also just trying to be better people. We're learning more about our own selves and our personalities, and we're truly trying to grow ourselves. So we're not only good for ourselves, but for our community around us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible. Um, you've alluded to the answer to this question already, kind of who you are as a person, but how can you flesh out a little bit more the impact that Shine has had on you personally? And how do you think this great combination of last year's sort of clinical skills, this year sounds like um, people self-exploration skills, how has that impacted you, and how do you think that will affect your future career goals?
Perfect. Okay, so honestly, the overall Shine program has truly made me so much more confident. I can walk into a room now and I feel assured of myself, and I can truly speak on on any matter. And I feel like I have been equipped with the right tools, and I have like a little toolbox with not only a brain that has all of these amazing things that will educate me and educate the people around me, but I also, it's brought me like an empathetic heart where I can relate to these patients. And
Yes.
we truly do serve a community that doesn't get served by many. So to have that opportunity is truly life-changing.
Well, okay, you've made your interviewer cry now. That's just really super, super powerful. Is there anything that you've caught yourself saying this year that maybe one of your teachers or mentors said last year? Has there been any kind of aha moment of just, realizing your growth from year one to year two? A question for both of you.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so personally, there were certain moments when I would talk with my interns one-on-one, and if there was any low moment or they were doubting themselves, I would always just reiterate that this whole program and honestly life is all meant for growth. Growth is a continuous process that will never end, and it's truly a beautiful thing because we were always trying to better ourselves, and this program especially truly teaches you how to become a better person and set these standards that at first you may not think are possible, but when you look at them and we have all our great mentors and great staff and all these amazing people in the hospital that truly are here for us. So it really gives you a platform where you feel like you are cared for and you are loved, and they truly just are continuously encouraging you. So I have always told my interns that this is a process of continuous growth. So don't let these setbacks be setbacks and harbor on them, but take them as learning moments and try to improve from those.
That's wonderful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Well, Diana, you have sent me you've sent me pictures. We've texted, we've chatted on other Zooms, and Dr. Singer has built on last year's experience. You've created houses like Harry Potter. You've done leadership activities, team competitions, professional development. And none of that surprises anyone that knows you well, that knows how creative and fun you want learning to be. But I do well enough that I know it's more than creativity and fun. I know there's meaning there. I know that this is something that's very near and dear to your heart. So why tell us about why all these fun things and why not just teach the clinical skills? Why everything else?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, we couldn't have better timing. I have the honor the last 2.5 hours I spent one-on-one with each of our 6 fellows doing their final wrap up. So asking, where have they grown and what was their favorite parts of the program. So I was really happy that their professional development lectures with Dr. Diaz, who many of you also know through the AIMC, was a big highlight, but also that the Shine Houses and the Shine Cup made it into the best experiences. I was just telling Debra-Jul and Jonaire, I said the houses I knew were either going to be my best idea ever or my worst idea ever. And we just had to jump in to find out. So as many of you know, I have 2 nieces that live in England, and so I had gotten my brother sends their grade reports, and their house points was on the bottom of it, and I was like, ooh, this is fun. And yes, I was a lifelong Harry Potter fan, and so I said, let's just roll with it. And so we have 6 fellows, 30 interns, so each fellow has 5 interns in their house, and we went through a guided reflection together to come up with their names. And they have logos, they have chants, they have cheers, I heard this morning was advertisements. So every day we have house challenges. They get different points for things, of asking really inquisitive questions or, good citizenship behaviors, good professionalism. And I'm sure somebody will ask, yes, there are red cards, which also subtract points. As a World Cup site, we had to go with a good old FIFA red card there as well. But it's definitely been really, really fun to see that. And the fellows reflected earlier, they said that just gave such a sense of connection and to really get to pour into those 5. Of course, the deep-rooted part that comes from is my dissertation work is on belongingness. And so no better way, as I've said how many times, than to put everybody in a matching t-shirt. So each house has a different color. So you are looking at the house leader for the Pinnacle House as well as the Grit House. So Pinnacles, their symbol is the mountain, and Grits is the diamond, because of course diamonds are gritty. And that is the orange in the greenhouse as well. So I had a sorting cowboy hat, as one does in Texas, and they all got to be a part of that process. So lots and lots of highlights. And next week will be Spirit Week as we wrap up on the day that they take their PCT certification test. And it's just been so fun to watch them all really just jump into that and to really kind of live out the benefits of belonging and seeing that in the learning environment. And, we always say, nobody said this can't be fun, right? Work hard, play hard. And so it just makes me so happy to see them bouncing around in their, matching socks or matching leis or, all the different things that we've done. So that was a really great addition for this year. And they told me, I asked them, I said, what is one thing that we absolutely should never change? And I got the houses. So the Shine Cup for the win is a really fun addition.
That's awesome. And while it's all fun and, I'm sure laughs and camaraderie, I think at the base of this is something to our students so meaningful. When you go into the work environment, you're spending a lot of time with a team of people, and it becomes like your second family, hopefully, if that team is a healthy and strong one, and have fun together, get to know one another beyond what you're doing technically at work. To be a part of that is something really can be super meaningful in your career, and you can meet the dearest friends that you'll ever have in your career. So I have 2 more questions, and then we'll do a rapid fire drill of something kind of fun. Virginia, I wanted to come back to you because if those who are listening or watching this podcast, I'm sure their brains are going on overdrive, like, oh, we'd love to do something like that, at our own hospital, in our own community. Where do they start? Like, what's maybe the first thing that you would advise someone to do if they wanted to embark on a journey like Shine?
Yes, thank you. So the first thing they need is the leader on board with their vision and their strategy. And once you have your leader on board, I really think you need a person who's organized, who can sort of put the timeline together, because it does take quite a bit of timing and quite a bit of planning to get ready, because you're starting with an application and you're ending with a graduation. And so there's many steps along the way. Every day is a learning experience. We have lessons learned, even though we're finishing our second year. One of the things Dr. Singer had us do last year was put a little notes here, lessons learned, things that we need to remember to do next year, or we need to remember to change for next year. And so we've been keeping those running totals. So I would say it's always going to be changing. You're always going to be adapting. But it does start with the vision. You have to decide, what age group do you want? What certification are you looking to do? How are you going to integrate the different parts of the healthcare system into the program? Once you have those kind of aligned, then you can start planning each individual part. And I would say it's such a joy watching them from day one coming in bright-eyed to graduation. And we talk a lot about the circle of life in academia. So you get that like hole in your heart when they graduate. So that's why it's really great when they come back as fellows, because, it reminds us of all the things that we loved from last year. But as long as you have the enthusiasm, you don't really need to have all the pieces, because since you're in a healthcare environment, you have clinicals, you have people who can speak, right? And so you can plan around, even if you don't have a grant or philanthropy or maybe a whole lot of money in your budget, you can start small. I do recommend trying to do a certification in the 8 weeks so that they leave here with something tangible. It does allow them an entry level career in healthcare that they can use going forward. And so being able to make them or have them sit for the PCT certification really was the core of what we did with this program. And then we kind of built around that. But I would say whether you have a lot of resources and a little resources financially, you still have the resources that is your team and your network around you. And as long as you keep that enthusiasm and that vision going, you will have a successful program.
That's wonderful, Virginia. Thank you. And I'm hearing a term Diana likes to use, and that is you need your dreamers and you need your doers. So you need the person dreaming, and I dare say I think that's Tricia, and having a vision, and then you need the doers around you to make it happen. And I love that certification at the end. So let's this is all nice, but it's not just warm and fuzzies. This is something at the end of the experience that these young people can take home with them and open doors for them down the road. So super impressive. Well, Dr. Elliott, we started with you, and I'll have my last question before we do the rapid fire. I'll end with you, and that's what's next. I'm sure there's something more down the pike. You're completing your second cohort, but I have a feeling you're going to probably grow this even more. So what's next for Shine?
Well, I'll tell you. So yes, I'm definitely the dreamer, and wake up at 3 a.m. from dreams, going, And the team is so kind to really just just sit there and be able to listen to my ideas and just help us to kind of develop it together. So I really appreciate them. They're incredible, and they have great ideas themselves in terms of how to make this, as you can see and hear how it's evolved and continue to grow. We want to continue what we're doing here. I think this has been a great model to just do that. I'd love to, for us next also, is to continue to follow our students. We've got to kind of follow them. This is the long game, right? This is the way I've also shared it with our executive team and other team members, to say that it takes a while to see ultimately where they're going to end up. We want these folks and these young leaders and young healthcare professionals to continue their journey, to stay in touch with us, for us to see where they end up, what they end up doing. I make the joke. I said, look, I'm here for you. I'm making my succession plan through you. And so they are incredible future leaders for us. So I think it's just to remember that we want to continue to follow them and continue to see our Shine interns, fellows, and Shine U folks grow in their healthcare fields. I will say our hope is to be able to expand. We'll see where we go as we see our new hospital coming down the pike, and if we have more capacity in our teams and looking at that, how do we actually are able to take even more students to be able to do that and to experience this. The other thing I will say is that we hope to see other certification models come through. And so the challenge is to see what can you accomplish in 8 weeks, right? And what's a validated tool and a validated certification that they can actually use. And so we want to explore that. There may be some non-clinical certifications that we want to basically incorporate and see that happen, because we need everyone in healthcare. As you said, it's a truly interprofessional, interdisciplinary team. And lastly, I would say we're thinking about how do we take this to other schools and other learners. It's right here in our house here in JPS, but we may want to take this and figure out a way to take Shine to other learners across our Tarrant County areas and schools, and to be able to experience a bit of what we're doing here. So we're thinking about ways to be able to do that and expand this experience so that a lot of our students can get a taste of what's going on here and really see themselves in the future in healthcare.
Well, I just love that. All good stuff. Also exciting, and the kind of work that keeps you going. In medical education, there's sort of a lot of, as in any career, as in any job, there's sort of the drudgery things, that you have to do, but then there's these really super fun things that keep you going and that are so meaningful. And clearly Shine fills that bill. So we're going to end with, we always end on a light note, sometimes asking a cute personal question. Today, though, we are going to ask, if Shine had a theme song, what would it be? And anyone can go.
All right, I'm going to start as the person for music, but I'm going to also show my age, because all my songs are probably from the 70s, okay? 70s or 80s. I've got a couple. I would just say, I know it's probably obvious, but Shining Star from Earth, Wind, and Fire, right? Okay. You're a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to see. All right, so there's that, but there's also another one that says "Ain't No Stopping Us Now."
Yes,
and I love that song, and I think it's just we're on the move, and that's what we're doing with Shine. Ain't No Stopping Us Now.
I love it, and I'm from the same era, so thank you for naming two songs I actually know. I don't know if the rest I will or not.
Mine would be Walking on Sunshine.
Oh,
we were just talking about this
Yay.
earlier of, things get busy and all that, but having the time with the fellows has just been the greatest joy. Last summer, I didn't get to be involved. I was out for an extended time for his surgery. And so I was so excited to be able to jump in feet first this year. And there's just they just bounce into my office, and they literally are just walking sunshine.
Yeah.
So
and it feels good.
It feels good. That's right. That's right. We were all a little teary as we were wrapping up earlier. It went by so fast, and it's bittersweet. Like they are so successful. We can't wait for their next chapters. Lots of college move-ins and new opportunities. But it's just something so special and so shiny. So yeah,
that's wonderful. Virginia, I'll ask you next, and then we'll end with our two shining stars.
Well, of course, I wanted to say Shining Star, because I'm also probably from that era. And Dr. Singer and Dr. Diaz last year gave me a Shining Star necklace, which I wish I'd remember to wear today. And so every time I wear it, I go, our Shining Stars. So Shining Star for me as well.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Ladies, Debra-Jul and Jonaire, close us out. What's your Shine song?
Yes, so the first song that comes to my mind is Shine Bright Like a Diamond, Diamonds by Rihanna.
Yes. Yay, I love that song.
Yes.
I thought that would be Jonaire's for her house.
That is actually my house song.
Oh, is it? That's so funny.
Any others?
I feel like Shine Bright Like a Diamond by Rihanna really
it just encapsulates everything.
For sure.
Yeah. Works for both of you. And I think it works for all of us. So Shine Bright Like a Diamond. Thanks to our wonderful guests today, that you all shine so beautifully in what you're doing. And our future is bright with lovely ladies like Debra-Jul and Jonaire. And I just want to thank our guests. I want to thank those of you who are listening in or watching. And if you don't already, please follow the AIAMC on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Thanks again, and take good care.
Thank you so much.